My name's Mhairi and this is my vlog. I have to say something straight off the bat. It's a very windy day, and although it's quite calm at the moment, you may get a blast. And not to worry, I'm not going to be whisked off a la Wizard of Oz. It's just the fact is, it's a very windy day. A blustery day. I love the word blustery. It makes me think of Winnie the Pooh, which is a good thing to think about because today I wanted to talk about reading. Because I was thinking, last week I talked about inspiration, and part of the month of the inspiration as, well, something that inspires me is reading. Okay, because the thing is, we all have to live, and sometimes it is difficult to live, but why reinvent the wheel? Just read about somebody who lived a good, solid life and how they managed it. That's for you, Curtis, because you were asking about that earlier. Why reinvent the wheel? Just read. And I wanted to talk to you about a few amazing books that have really helped me. Because, okay, first off, I'm going to start with the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I read this on and off a lot in the bath and whatnot. That's why it's a bit, if you looked up close, but you don't want to look up close, it's a bit weather beaten. This is a phenomenal book. This has like sorted out a lot of my life. But it talks about sharpening the tools. And the thing is, if you're living a life, which most of you are, unless you're a ghost watching this, obviously then too late for you, darling. Sorry about that. But if you are alive, watching this, the thing that's good is you don't want to miss a trick. And this book talks about sharpening your tools, which is a good thing to keep on sharpening, because sometimes, when you're in education, you are expanding yourself and having new ideas and filtering it through and maybe writing an essay about it or coming to your own conclusion about stuff. But sometimes when you leave education, at least in my experience, you just get on with it. I'm not really continually pushing myself to think new thoughts or find out how somebody else dealt with something. I'm just sort of bumbling along with the help of my family and friends and a few things on Twitter, which is fine, but sometimes you want a different point of view. And these people have already lived, they've already done it. And not only that, they've written about it. So it's great. You get a great amount of education succinctly. So this is an amazing book for sharpening your tools and talking about it. Me and Holly right now, we're about to start pitching and things, and it's a tricky thing, both of us, we're just admitting it, because we've never done it before, and there's a certain amount of vulnerability and dauntingness when you're about to embark on something that you haven't done. And what I find really inspiring when I'm facing something potentially challenging is reading about other people who have equally been there. And this is an amazing biography about Samuel Goldwin of MGM. He left Poland and walked across lots of countries, almost swam. Well, no, he did. He did in fact swim. His boat capsized on the way to Germany, and he lost half the money in the water. And then when he got out, he just had to walk. And so these stories that show grit and determination, and the fact that somebody fails and gets back up and fails and gets back up, and I find solace in that, because otherwise you can get quite in your own head and spiral, but realize there's other great people that have done it, and they, his name's on a, side of a wall. I almost knocked my teacup. I put my favorite teacup here because, I often think of tea and reading. It's a nice thing to do. This is another one of my favorite books by Jacques, and he's the guy that started the school I went to in Paris. And I find it's always really good to come back to what originally inspired me work-wise. And because we're doing Tallulah and the show of that, he's really big on clowns and how to create one, and I often go back into that. Obviously, The Gospel According to Coco Chanel's a good one to dip into. Now, the thing is, Ariana Huffington has a great book about fearlessness, and in that she talks about how often women are crippled by fear and not very good with thinking about money. And as a result of that, there's many more homeless women later on in life, and people that are generally in a financially pickle are women. Obviously there are men, but a lot of women struggle with that. And I really recognize myself in that, and I got an amazing financial advisor, thank you, Karen Flynn, and she's helping me out no end. But I also wanted to get a bit more knowledge about money, give her a run for the job. No, just kidding, Karen, you can relax, at ease. But actually your daughter gave me this, so lent me this, so you can talk to her about it if I set up shop as a financial advisor. But this book is amazing. This is all about money. And in it, he also talks about most people can be scared about money, and so they just try not to think about it and hope that something happens. And basically, that was me too. And so I feel it's an empowering situation to tackle something that you don't feel that you really know about, and it's a bit scary, and just beat it at its own game. So this is what I'm doing, darling, beating money at its own game. And so there you go. That's what I wanted to sort of talk about today, is inspiration in the world of books. And also something that he says, and something that Holly says a lot, is we are information rich and wisdom poor. And I think social media exacerbates that, because we can have so many almost propaganda sounding headlines on our Twitter feed, but do we really get something that we can grapple with mentally afterwards? And there's something nice about reading because you're doing it at your own pace. You're not at a computer screen in a neon thing. You're quiet. I even lit a candle. Yes, I did. And I put on Eric Satie last night. I created this whole atmosphere of readingness and intelligence, and it was good. I felt intelligent after that. I did dream a bit about money, but anyway, apart from that, it was a good experience last night reading. So let's start the conversation.